Yeah, please put your hands together for Inspiring Talks. 1 year anniversary and Sally's awesome talk. It's been an amazing addition to Brighton. I've really enjoyed it every time I've been here, and I kind of got set up to be a risky biscuit, which was a great, great gift because I possibly wouldn't have chosen. But having chosen, I now end up here. So it's funny what the universe has in store for us that's completely outside of what we think is going on. So I'd just love to invite you right now to just take a couple of breaths. Just check in with where you are right now in this room. Just see how is me. See if your breath is up here or down there or out the room or in somebody else's pocket. I'm going to ask you to just put your hands together and rub them a little bit. It's really hot in here, but let's get a bit hotter. But your own energy, like make some fire. And then really gently and mindfully, just place that warmth in your hand. In this little spot here, there's a little teeny weeny dip that's a bit sensitive. And if you put your hand over the top of it, and just close your eyes and go inside for a moment and feel your energy welcoming you and you welcoming your energy. And just for a moment, just drop everything else. Just be fully present with your beautiful self in this beautiful space and take a couple more breaths. And notice your heart beat. And your feet on the floor. You might imagine them growing little roots and pushing their way enthusiastically into the deep red earth. You might find a big crystal somewhere down there towards the center that you can just connect with and bring the energy up. Just bringing yourself fully present and honoring your journey that's brought you to here. Now, what is it you want to get this evening for you? Open your heart and your mind and make an intention, because energy follows thought. And I'm going to ask you to just think about one thing you're really, really grateful for. Something that really touches you in this moment. And then as you open your eyes, just look around, maybe make eye contact with a couple of more people. There's quite a few to choose from. And just acknowledge all of the amazing energies in this room, which are much easier to see when we're actually at home in ourselves. Would you like to just shout out a few gratitudes with the passion that they deserve?
Being vulnerable.
Being vulnerable. Joy. Gratefulness. Having opportunities. Connection. Love. Friendship. Acceptance. What was that? Sex and acceptance. Okay. You. Me.
Your presence.
Thank you. So I'm going to let you know that one of the things I'm really grateful for is my life, which sometimes I haven't been as grateful as I am now. So I'm going to share more about that. But what I want to share with you is one of the gifts that I have that has come through an awful lot of struggle and experiences I perhaps wouldn't have consciously chosen. Is that I'm a channel for spirit song. Energy comes through me. I use it with intention. I use it to help spirits that are stuck going home. I use it for clearing space, for welcoming, for bringing in healing, for journeying, all sorts of things. And I'd like to just open that space with you and ask you to think about an intention that you might like to make, that you would like whatever energy comes through to support you in, because I may bring it through, but it's your business where it goes. I'm not picking up that one. Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Anybody lying? Talk to you afterwards.
Matuka puchana yo, wana 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 ho, wana hey yo, wana hey yo, wana hey yo. Wana chuka tuanwa hey hey ho. Wana 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 weyo, wana wana wanuneyo, ho ho ho.
Just stay in that space for a second and just see what's there. I came from a place that was a bit like Sally, I think. I came from a place a little bit like Sally, and I had to be God or I had to be the devil. Neither was really very suitable. So I wanted to sing more than anything in the world. I couldn't sing. I couldn't speak. I used to pass out if I had to say anything in a room. Absolute abject fear. I used to remember counting numbers in 10 minutes in the toilet. Counting numbers would mean at least 10 minutes had gone by and I didn't have to sit there and talk to anybody. But the other side of me wanted to be a flipping pop star. Why? Because I wanted everybody to go, we love you, you're amazing, you're welcome. I didn't feel welcome. Does anybody know what it feels like to not feel welcome, even if there are loads of people around you? Can we put hands up? Anybody who relates to that? It's horrible, isn't it? And I wasn't welcome because I couldn't welcome myself because I wasn't feeling welcome out there. So, of course, the journey is to come home, isn't it? Find that way home and find that validation for oneself, but be able to know that you can trust you and find that connection to spirit, which is my work is really about helping people connect their divinity, connect to the spirit, to be present, to find their gifts and manifest them in the world with integrity, with joy. And we're humans, so we're never going to be perfect. We have to live in that place out here and that place in here, which has been quite a struggle to get to grips with, because when one is learnt to be judgmental, you kind of have to be like that all the time, or like this all the time, or not judge all the time. And I think the answer is about coming home with a sense of love, being present, and actually loving yourself, even if you're not doing anything. And we go out there and we do this, we do that, as I have gone round and round all over the place, looking, seeking, trying to grab what I couldn't find in myself, in other people outside. Of course it doesn't work. You just get lonelier and lonelier, pissed off, depressed, and then have to give somebody else more money to sort it out. Which is quite often me. So, anyway, my journey, one of the things that really stands out for me is the sense of the soul knows what's what. It has a journey, it has a mission, and do you know what? It keeps going, and we throw it off. We do all this strange stuff with our personality, with our ego, with our patterns, with our stuff, but that soul keeps on going, and it's actually got quite a strong direction. And I'm amazed that I'm still here. I walked into a shaman's office once, and it was a teepee, but and they said, well, you should be dead. I said, that's a great way to say hi. Tell me more. Anyway, the journey to be here and be here fully has been a really, really hard job. I came in, I was ripped out as a cesarean birth. I had definitely not chosen to be here, and I took one look and thought, absolutely didn't want to be here. So for the quite early stages of my life, I did everything I could not to be here. My life has been growing steadily more and more to that point of actually totally choosing to be here and turning what my experiences have been into gold, turning shit to gold, which is what we're all in the business of, isn't it, at some level or another. And actually putting all of those things, as Sally said, into the pot, and realising that when you get to a certain age, I think, you can look back and go, do you know what? I get why that happened to me. I get why I nearly died. I get why I was betrayed. I get why I felt that small and nobody actually saw me or heard me. Because when you put it in that pot with wisdom, with a bit of life experience, self-awareness, and a commitment to your soul's journey, and you stir that pot with integrity, and you call in all the other things that are available that for a long time we don't really get or see, or trust is probably the biggest word, that pot turns to gold. You start mending the broken pieces of you with that. You know those Chinese pots? I don't know what they're called. Yeah, but it's like they're amazing, and they're mended with gold, so they're better than they were before because they have a story, they have a richness, they have a legacy. And that really always stands out in my mind about, you know, there's no such thing as broken, it's broken whole, because how can we be whole without being broken? And I couldn't give myself permission in a comfortable way to be broken, to tell anybody, to share it, to ask for support for so long, because it's like shame just took me over. I'd lived in shame. I can still do that on a good day or a bad day. Prize victim. But I know that that's just a little part of me, and the part of me that's here now is standing here because all my journey comes to that point of becoming my own medicine and to help other people become their own medicine. Because when we're standing in that truth, we shine, and our shine kickstarts other people's shine. Then we're in business as a group. So I was going back to, I was adopted by Dr. Jim Gillihan, who was a man called White Buffalo Tatanka Scar. And he was working with the Dalai Lama. He was a Lakota Sioux. And I spent 5 years sitting in council with the elders and had about 9 different very close relationships with medicine people and wisdom keepers, for which I am so grateful, because none of them were stealing power. None of them were doing bad magic. And they believed that magic was in kindness, in respect, in connecting with the earth, in being grounded. And they showed me magic at that level. It's way better than the guy that can set your curtains on fire by throwing a glance. So I was very lucky to have had that experience. And through that, I started singing. they would see that the energy fields of people would come together when I sang. And I'm like, well, that's not right, because I'm supposed to be a pop star. I don't do that kind of shit. So I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm helping people to find their voices, and actually I'm getting really crabby about it because I haven't found mine, so I'd better go to BIM. 20 years later than planned. Oh shit. So I turned up on the doorstep with a mini disc and frightened a man quite badly, actually. I said, I'm 20 years late. I need to come here. He goes, can you sing? I said, no. He said, can you play an instrument? I said, no. I said, but I've got a song on a mini disc that's really cool that Hazel O'Connor liked. Can I play you that? So he said, that's really cool. So he said, go away and come back after you've done this, after you've done that. Anyway, finally he said, yeah, you're a good songwriter. Come in. I'm like, fantastic. How do I stand in a corner singing a spirit song with 25-year-olds with slick albums who've been touring all over the world and feel good about myself with my current history? Well, I did it. It nearly killed me, but... So I did, thank you. Somehow I ended up on stage with a 6-piece band and got Student of the Year in terms of progress, and all the people that thought, who's that weird woman, were going like, she's the flipping shaman who sits on the stones and reads them and tells us what to do to write songs, and we can find pictures in this weird shit. And it was like, they're all there going, yo, Jenny Sessions, go! And I'm going like, fuck, this is cool, in my goth coat. And that was great. Then I did Pride, and somebody posted half the world in my big dungarees. So when I kicked my leg in the air on an enthusiastic moment, cars flew out, and curlers and biscuits, and it was like, what the fuck is that? I swung round, there was a guy with a camera filming down my nose who I didn't know. I went, he fell off the stage. And I just remember them saying at BIM, whatever happens, keep going. The band got smaller by the time we'd finished, but it worked. So, where am I heading to? I've got excited now. 2009, I had a massive car accident. And basically, it's a story that will be a book. I definitely wasn't supposed to leave, and I know very much that it was to choose life, and it was to basically, do you love yourself enough to come home, to bring yourself home? And there was a place after it that I thought, I don't want to be here. I can't do this. It's too much. I feel it's too much. I'm going. And it was like Spirit came in and said, you've come with gifts. You're not a coward. You get back in your boots and you start walking, because it's not about you. It's about service. And we're waiting. And I'm like, oh, fuck. You can't argue with God. So I started the long road home. But that accident... was very convoluted. It's another whole talk, but my car went off the road, dropped 60 feet. I then bounced 350 metres with a shattered spine and ended up inside a bramble hedge, out of view, in a smoking car on my own. And the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was a CD someone had recorded for me of Pink's and labelled it slightly wrong, and it said, "You're not dead." And I'm like, well, that's great, but how the fuck do I get out of here? So 2 guys turned up at the window, and I'm like, go away, I'm busy. And I'm half hanging out of the car, but my spine had shifted, so I couldn't sit down again. So I had to hold my supreme body weight, which was less than it is now, off the seat for a long, long time, really not knowing whether I was going to make it. I did end up with a helicopter, 3 towns worth of medical services, to be flown to a hospital where I was abused by a psychotic nurse, which was horrific and probably did more damage to me than the car accident. So when I had to go back for an operation, I got 10 of the top shamanic practitioners around the world to work with me to go into the hospital I was supposed to be being operated in, to clear the past, to clear the future, to work with the patients, to work with the spirits. And we found all sorts of horrific things underneath, which had affected many people, and cleared that. So rather than choose another hospital, I felt it was for me to actually do something about it, so it wasn't just I walked away and someone else copped it. And some amazing things happened, and that taught me a lot. Just got to breathe for a minute now. It's all very well telling you to do it. Yeah, so that accident left me with chronic pain for the last 9 years, which I can't take painkillers for, which is actually a gift because my stomach would have left home by now. I don't take drugs and I don't drink other than the odd Prosecco. But I've had to use my creativity, my connection to spirit, to walk through that and keep walking through that and use it in a wise way that can be of service. It upset my memory, which I find excruciatingly difficult because I'm always losing things. But I'm learning that it doesn't really matter. And if I give up worrying about what I've lost, I'm fine. I think it's called the art of letting go. And organisation is very difficult, so I can't cross-reference things. But I'm shit-hot intuitively, and I have a great connection with spirit. And if I stay in that and work with that, it's fine. So the lesson is so much about surrender, because when I'm fighting what I think I should be that I don't feel I am, I can create hell for myself. Does anybody get that and feel that or recognise that? Yeah. You know, we should be like this, we should have done that, and what about this? And it's like, well, actually, wherever we are is really exactly the right place that we need to be. And we've been brought here by this amazing journey that we've carved out through great things, through awful things. And that pot gets richer, and the gold that mends it gets richer and richer and brighter and brighter. I'm probably 3 days over, am I? So I think the message overall that I wanted to share with you is that the soul knows where it's going, but we have to be still enough to hear it and make space to listen and know when we're rushing on because we're driven by some message that says we've got to be like this or got to be like that, and miss the very point that's our next step. That we're all absolutely amazing as the unique beings that we are, and none of us are the same. We're all flipping weird. Every one of you is weird. Anybody here think they're not weird? Because you're weirder than the rest of them. So anyway, I've just taken you for a whistle-stop tour round everywhere, and I would like to just end that with a poem. Have I got time to do that? It's only 3 pages long. And just before I do that, one of the things that's really, really important, and I'm sure most of us or all of us know this, but when you're doing healing work or when we're working with other people, it is so important to ground, in my world, actually becoming a hollow bone and asking for the blocks to be cleared for the benefit of that person, inviting that energy to come in, feeling it and seeing it going through you as a hollow bone, those nice, shiny, clean bones, filling with that energy before you give it out, and not giving out so much that you're left like a kind of deflated crisp bag feeling resentful, because that's not nice. Let's breathe. This is called Become Your Own Medicine. As she sat, stillness dropped like a blanket of feathers, gently weighted at all 4 corners. She felt herself coming home through time and space. She touched the earth with herself, and she remembered why she had fallen so far away from her soul. The earth reached up, reached down, reached out to her, calling her home with soft whispers, deep, deep, deeply into its fire-red belly. She responded with her heart open, going deeper than she'd ever gone before. She touched the stars and fell back down to earth. With each and every breath, touched the stars and fell back down. So gently, so tenderly, like feathers falling to the ground. She touched the earth with herself, and she remembered why she had fallen so far away from her soul. This time, all the pieces of her puzzle had come together in a way that made absolute and perfect sense. With a sparkle in her eye, the flame in her heart rekindled, and with a deep sense of knowing, her truth had spoken. Gratitude danced effortlessly on her releasing breath, and she knew beyond all doubt that she was at last becoming her own medicine. Hands clasped in prayer, She watched the luminosity of all that is weave its beautiful web around her, offering infinite mirrors of reflection, turning like the wheels of Dharma, transforming mayhem into medicine. If the key fits the lock, let the door of your heart fly open. How on earth could we truly understand our humanity without getting lost? On this incredible journey homeward bound, we falter, we fly, we find our way. We reunite our soul purpose and we heal our precious selves. Become our own medicine. Learn to live more joyfully and abundantly and more harmoniously within the circle of life. She sat. Stillness dropped once more. Like a blanket of feathers, gently weighted at all four corners. She felt herself coming home through time and space. She touched the earth with herself and she remembered how she had fallen so far away from her soul. She chuckled from inside. There are no accidents, simply divine opportunity to embody and then let go. Fly high like a butterfly. Fly free. I call my spirit home. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. I call my spirit home. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. I call my spirit home. Welcome, I call my spirit home. It's time to shine our light. Would you just sing that with me? I call my spirit home. Really call it. Hey ya, hey yo, hey yo. I call my spirit home. Hey ya, hey yo, hey yo. I call my spirit home. Welcome, I call my spirit home. It's time to shine our light. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Sally.